Hey guys, welcome to the Highest Life. It's really late at night now, so I'm going to try and be a little bit quiet. It's not the best time to make a video, but sometimes there's things you need to get off your chest, okay? And I wanted to talk about van life in general and why I think it's so popular and why more people are being drawn to this lifestyle. And also my situation, because I feel like a lot of people getting into van life get into it financially motivated. I feel like they're sick of having really high rent, or they can't afford rent, or they just can't afford to buy a house and they can't get on the property ladder and all this type of stuff. I feel like maybe the vast majority of people who do van life do it to get out of that rat race. And so they're not constantly chasing bills and all that type of thing. Well, I'm not in that situation. I'm lucky enough that I've purchased my own property, which I'm in now. This is paid for. I don't have any rent. I don't have any massive expensive bills per month or anything like that. I can live very, very comfortably in my house, and it's a quite nice house, and it's already been done up. It's not a mansion by any means, but it's a fairly nice house, and it's mine, and I could live quite comfortably here. So it's not my motivation to go and do van life because of financial reasons. It's more so, and I'll say if any people out there feel like this as well, it's more so a growing anxiety inside of me. It's like and it's been growing for a long time. And I think that as more time goes on, the anxiety has gotten worse and worse and worse inside of me. It's actually made me quite ill, to be honest. A lot of anxiety symptoms and stuff have made me feel terrible. I feel like with everything that's happening in the world, and believe me, this is just the beginning of things to come. Whoa, little insect. This is just the beginning of things to come. I feel like it's going to get far, far, far worse. To the point where like 15-minute cities are introduced, and I think van life could actually become a thing of the past. If we've got a certain carbon allowance and we're only allowed to travel this distance and that distance, and you need a permit to leave your 15-minute city, and all the other draconian measures that are going to come into place over the next, I don't know how long. It's being pushed really, really fast right now. So to say it's way off in the future, I think it's not that far off in the future. I think it'll happen within the next few years. I think within the next 10 years, this country will be a completely different place. And I think our freedoms will have been eroded to the point some people might not even be able to leave the UK anymore, even if they wanted to. So it is really scary, and I think a lot of people's anxiety is really up at the moment. People who understand what's going on anyway. Some people bury their head in the sand, they ignore it and think it'll go away. But it won't. It's going to come and catch all of us eventually. And I feel like I'm on a journey now, not to live peacefully in my homeland in England, in my house, which I should. By rights, I should feel completely comfortable now. But I'm not. And that's because of the situation we're in. I should be able to just relax now and enjoy this house and enjoy my time here and live here happily and peacefully, but I'm not allowed to do that. My job now as a person that wants to be free is to go out there and search for a place, almost like a safe haven in a way. Search for somewhere that can be a safe haven for as long as possible. Because of course these measures that are coming to the UK are going to go everywhere. It's a global problem. It's not just a problem in one country. But saying that, there is certain countries that are fighting back against it, and which will be far more difficult to break down to get to that point. So for me, it's all about finding a place where you can be free and comfortable for as long as possible. And if I'm in a country where the government actually is working towards the people and not mega corporations and people and the money men, as long as your leaders of your country are following the orders of the money men, they're not working for you, they're working for them. And they don't care if you've got freedom or you haven't. They don't care if in hell, quite frankly. They don't care if you're living like in a digital prison or working like a slave, or most of your money's being taken away in taxes or whatnot. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care about your quality of life. They're actively working against you at that point, and I think we're at that point now. And a lot of places are like that right now. It's not a fact of it's coming, it's a fact of it's already here. And I feel like my journey now is actually to go out there, drive around as far and wide as I can go and find my safe haven. Of course, it'll be well away from the cities, and it'll be somewhere that isn't going to be dragged into a war at some point. You've got to take so many things into consideration. You know, there's so many things. It's got to be well out the way of all sort of danger points and all sort of foreseen circumstances that are possibly going to come over the next decade or so. And it's got to be a place where if everything breaks down, society literally collapses. Let's say the worst happens and World War III breaks out and everything's going to hell, right? Probably most places won't be that safe if that happens, but it's got to be a place where you can kind of survive without supermarkets, without shops, without money, without any of this stuff, you know? If you can literally survive by hunting food, finding food, foraging and all that for as long as possible, or be self-sustainable even, grow food, breed chickens, whatever, anything like that, have eggs and all the rest of it. I think that is the goal now, and I think as many people as possible have got to follow this ideal and follow this way of life, because I think that is going to be the only way possible to be free in the coming years. And that might sound crazy to some people, but it is absolutely true. It is happening right now. Even if you're in America, you think you're free with all your guns and we'll protect ourselves and all that. Believe me, it's coming everywhere. It's coming to America. It's coming to Europe. It's coming everywhere. But there is, you know, people don't realise how huge the planet is. And built-up areas are actually quite small when you consider how much green free land is out there. If you look at the world map, look at a satellite image of the world, all you will see is green most of the time. You will see green, green, green. If you look at a satellite image of England even, all you will see is green. Even London is just a tiny little spot, a tiny little speck of like black where the buildings are. Majority of everywhere is green. Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland. So green land is abundant. And I think people forget that, like, drive out into the countryside, you'll be driving for hours and hours and hours and all you'll see is fields. So there is places out there, and I'm not saying in England, I'm saying it could be anywhere. Eastern Europe maybe is even further than that, a field, you know, Greece, all that type of area. There's plenty of places where you could kind of live off grid, relatively safe for maybe as long as possible. And I think that's my journey now. And it's kind of scary, really, that you have to go to that length to feel like you can live free. And I think another thing is learning to live without luxuries. I think that's going to be a huge thing for people now, because that's coming as well. I think we've been spoiled over the past like 30 or 40 years. My generation has definitely been spoiled with things, you know. When I was growing up, I wanted things. I've got loads of guitars. Look, all around my room's guitars and things and nice things that I wanted. You want nice cars, you want nice motorbikes, you want nice clothes, you want nice things around you want nice gadgets. I've got a 75-inch brand new TV there. I've never even switched it on since I bought it. Never switched it on. It's like a very, very expensive, like, black piece of glass, basically, on the wall. And you look around and you think, like, why? What is all this stuff about, you know? It's not important. It's all bullshit. We've been too wrapped up in this buy, consumerism bullshit, and, like, It really does take over. A lot of the things I've bought has been not because I really wanted them, but because I felt like I needed them. It was almost like a false sense of happiness or something. It was like, it was almost like an addiction, you know? You get boxes turning up at your door and you get that little adrenaline rush. Amazon boxes turning up with little trinkets in them, and you get the little rush opening the box. It's like Christmas every day almost. It's so weird. You've got to get out of that mindset of consumerism and I need this, I need that, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. And you've got to take it really back to basics. And I'm in the sense now where I like to buy things that are going to be useful to me and they're going to last forever, you know. And also I'll not go and buy the most expensive of everything. I'll buy something that's adequate. I don't want to buy something that's crap and is going to break. If something's worth the money and I need it, let's say it's a tool that's going to bring you something like a solar panel or something like that, something you need to survive, by all means go and get a decent one, invest some money in it. It's the useless things, the fun things in life, I suppose you could say, the things that bring you sort of temporary enjoyment that we need to cut loose of. So yeah, this is my journey, and I don't know how it's gonna go. I really don't. I suppose at some point I'm gonna have to sell this house. I've even got concerns over that. Like, once I sell this house, I'll have money in the bank, more money than I've ever had in the bank. And I'm kind of concerned about that because I'm worried in case this digital currency does come in, all my money gets transferred to digital currency, and then every penny I spend from there on in is tracked and traced and can possibly be cut off at any moment. Oh, this guy's living out in the wilderness and he's got all this money in the bank. What's he doing? We'll cut that off until he decides to join society like everybody else. And we need to track what he's doing. We need to see what he's doing. We need to see what this fella's up to. He's not stepping in line. We need to cut his money off until he steps in line. Even if it's my money, it doesn't matter. You will have nothing and you will be happy. You know, they can take your own possessions and your own money away from you at the drop of a hat if you're not following orders. And that's where we're heading. That is honestly where we're heading. And so many people don't have a clue. They don't realise it yet, how serious this is going to get. And that is pretty scary. Like, I don't know. Obviously, you can't have cash. You can't have just piles and piles of cash in a bag and just go off somewhere with it, because cash will be useless. And I think that's why it's fundamentally important that we keep cash alive as a society instead of using cards all the time. We need to show that we want cash and we want to keep it around as long as possible. It is inevitable that it is going to be phased out eventually. It will be. That's a fact. It will be phased out unless there's a massive revolution, which I very much doubt that'll ever happen. But we need to keep it around as long as possible, and that is the only way to do that is to keep using it. Use ATMs, get cash out, keep cash on you. I know it's a bit of annoying sometimes getting change and dealing with cash and all that. It is a bit of an inconvenience, especially when you're used to just scanning your phone on a little thing, Apple Pay, ding dong, it's done. Comes out your bank, you don't have loads of coins in your pocket and all that. I know it's convenient, but we can't give up our freedoms for a little convenience. You know, we've got to look at the bigger picture here. Your freedom, your fundamental freedoms are the most important things, and they come before anything. They come before anything. And that's the way you've got to look at it. Forget convenience. Convenience is what got into this mess in the first place. People are going to sell these ID cards under the convenience guise. Oh, you can get through airports, just show this. You can do this. You can get into a hospital, just show that. It's going to be sold on convenience, but you will pay that with a heavy price. You will pay for that convenience with your freedom. And you will be scared to step out of line. You will be scared even to talk about this online like I'm doing now. You'll be scared to leave a comment on a video. You'll be scared to do anything because you know there'll be repercussions. And there already is repercussions for certain things you say online or whatever. People are jailed over it even now. But that is just the beginning of it. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. People are jailed now for saying pretty extreme things, you know, which I still don't agree with. Even if they say extreme things, it shouldn't lead to a jail sentence. Maybe a warning. Don't speak like that online. You are upset, whatever. Don't speak like that. A warning is all you need in them situations. Majority of the time, I would say. But it's going to get to the stage where if you criticise the government online, I don't like this Prime Minister. Oh, we've got his digital ID hooked up to his Instagram account. He lives at this address. Let's go and arrest him or take credits out of his online credit account or whatever type of fine they want to give you or whatever type of sentence they want to give you. They might take some of your carbon credits away so you can't move around that week or whatever, you know? Like, this is the thing. We might even be limited to what we can eat. You've had enough meat this week. You'll be eating insects for the rest of the week or something like that, you know? Protein burgers made out of insects or whatever crap they're cooking up now. It's ridiculous. It really is. Honestly, like, the things that they've got planned, and this is not conspiracy theory, this is, like, it's out there. Look on the official website for the World Economic Forum and places like that. This is all written down. They're actually telling you what they're going to do and people still don't believe it. It really is crazy how people can't seem to comprehend the levels that they want to go to with all this stuff. So people out there doing van life and that, maybe you have some similar thoughts to me, some similar concerns to me. I hope you do. I hope there's more people out there thinking like this. I wish there was a safe haven where we could all go to and live peacefully and maybe have a house, build a tiny home on some nice land and live peacefully. But I think all them type of places are going to be eventually phased out. You know, everyone's going to be crammed into 15-minute cities, and living in the countryside or living off grid and all that's going to also become a thing of the past eventually. Van life. I don't see how van life can live on that much longer, to be honest. Because it is basically the most freedom anyone can have is van life. Plus, a van is using diesel most of the time, and it is polluting the atmosphere and all that. The stuff that they talk about they want to stop. Even though people who do van life live actually very sustainably, they do. It's much more sustainable living in a van than it is living in a massive house. Bearing in mind the energy costs, having to heat every room and all the rest of it, you know. Keeping a house going uses far more energy than a van, but they will come for the van lifers, guarantee you that. They don't want people having that level of freedom. And of course they will use the excuse that van life people are causing trouble. You know, they'll get you through all different types of avenues. They'll get you through parking, they'll get you through emissions, they'll get you through... Well, for a start, vans just with a good engine are being phased out already. I mean, I wouldn't even want to buy a van that's been built in the last 5 years because the engines are pure garbage. They're not made to last anymore. My van's a 2010 Toyota Hiace. It has a 2.5 D4D engine, one of the best engines ever made by Toyota. And it is a fantastic engine, and it's got 90,000 miles on it, and hopefully it'll do 1 million miles because I want to keep it going as long as possible, because really, that's another thing. Getting older vans that are not rust buckets and that have got a really good reliable engine is going to become harder and harder and harder. And who wants to do van life in an electric van? That's defeats the whole purpose of doing van life, doing it in an electric van. You can't go and live out in the middle of nowhere in an electric van. You've got nowhere to charge it up. You're going to get stuck somewhere, basically in a huge dead battery with wheels on it. It's never going to work. So yeah, guys, leave your stories below about van life and how you feel about the future of van life. Where do you think it's going to go? How do you think they're going to clamp down on van life? Because they will. It is going to come. Especially the fact that it's becoming more and more popular. I mean, I had my first van. I built my first van, which was a Ford Transit conversion, in like 2017. And even then, van life was becoming quite popular. But like now in 2025, it is becoming really, really, really popular. There's more van life channels out there than ever before. There's more people doing it. Like even in my street, in my little street where I live, there's at least, I would say, 6 couples who just live as my neighbours who have van conversions. Like you very rarely used to see people with them. Now every man and his dog's got a van conversion, you know. My neighbours up there have just went away in their van a few days ago. Yeah, so they're really so popular now, and I think, yeah, the people who want to control us don't like that. They don't like our level of freedoms. Even this thing that's coming in where you have to scan yourself going through to different countries, I don't like that at all. I really don't like that at all. I don't like my biometric data being tracked every time I cross a border. I don't like that at all. I want to hand my passport over, get a nice little stamp in it, and move along. I've proved who I am. I've proved I can be in that country, and I've proved everything they need to know by having that passport. Now stamp it, like we've always done, and we'll go on through. Giving them your biometric data so they can have that in a system where everything's logged and they can see where you've been and how long you've been there, and then they can send that information back to England, and the people in England who want to track you can look at you and say, oh, he's been in a lot of countries this year, he's using a lot of carbon credits, you know, we'll have to clamp down on that. Next year he's not going anywhere, sort of thing. I don't like it, you know, you can see everything coming together now. You can see everything people have been talking about for years and years and years, and they've called them nuts, is happening right now before our very eyes. The biometric scans at airports, the digital IDs coming in everywhere, the digital currencies they're going to try and implement that connect everything together. It is some scary shit, and it's... I just don't want to live in a society where you don't have your basic freedoms. That scares the hell out of me. It really does. I don't want the government interfering with my life. This is my life. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. Nobody should be keeping tabs on what we're doing. Nobody should be keeping tabs on where we're going. Nobody should be keeping tabs on what we eat, how we travel, what we buy, what we say, what we write online, what we watch online. Oh, well, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the problem? The problem is I'm a free person, and it doesn't matter if I've got something to hide or not. That's my business, and I have the divine right to keep that my business, and that's as simple as that. It's not about having nothing to hide, let them look and all that. People who say that have not got a clue how dangerous that is. Honestly, that winds me up, that saying. Oh, you've got nothing to hide. Do these people have a clue what tyranny is? They'd really trust the government that much that they're going to just give all their freedoms away? Oh, they'll be fine. They'll look after us. They'll be good to us, won't they? Of course they will. I've got nothing to hide. I'm never going to get into trouble. These people are so freaking clueless, and these people are actually dangerous, because these people who accept this stuff put all the rest of us in danger, you know? They're literally giving up their freedom so easily and putting us in danger. Because if everyone stuck together and everyone said no, they would never be able to implement it. But the point is, there's so many people out there who are just yes men, yes women, whatever. They just go along with anything. They literally cost us all our freedoms because of their ignorance, and it's really annoying actually. It's really annoying. So anyway, guys, that was a very heavy video, I know that, but I really want to know what you think the future of van life is and how long you think this will be able to carry on for. And also your thoughts on like how long as a society, a worldwide society, I mean, how long as a worldwide society will we have our basic freedoms? It's a very good question. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. That would really help me out. Like the video, leave your comments below. Thanks, guys. And also hit the hype button. Hype it up.